Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to manifest specifically before you go to sleep, and I'm going to be talking about why it's so powerful to do this, and it's actually one of the easiest ways to manifest. So let's get into it. Before you go to sleep, your conscious mind slows down. You go into this relaxed state. Even if you have anxiety, even if you're stressed out, your body just naturally will relax more than if it was during the daytime. And the reason why it is so powerful to manifest right before your sleep is because your conscious mind is starting to relax. Therefore, your brain waves start to slow down and your ego drops a little bit more. So therefore, when you visualize or you're trying to manifest or pray or whatever, those thoughts, those desires go directly straight to the subconscious mind, because your conscious is now starting to digress, is trying to slow down, your brain waves go down, so everything just naturally starts to go to straight to the subconscious. And when this happens, that means ego starts to drop as well. So, those couple of seconds that you're literally about to go to sleep, literally drowse off, the ego drops. And that's the part where you need to really try to visualize. And I'm going to give you some tips on how you could do this in a effective way or in a better way, because there's always a better way, right? So, number one, you want to relax yourself before bed and get rid of any heavy emotions that you might have carried throughout the day, and not get rid of, but go through them and then let them go. And I speak about this in, I feel like, all of my videos. We don't want to avoid our feelings, and we don't want to actually get rid of them in the sense of avoid them and distance ourselves from them, but go through them and then let them go. Because if we label something bad and we keep pushing something up, it's going to come up way more stronger and hit us in the face, or even hit other people in the face. So try to get rid of anything that might have been weighing you down throughout the day, or something that has been replaying on your mind, whether this is journaling. Me personally, I'm not someone that journals in the sense of I need to get anything out of my mind onto a piece of paper. So what I specifically do is I speak out loud, like if I was talking to a therapist or talking to a trusted friend. If you're not comfortable doing that, you could talk to a camera like the way I'm doing right now and record yourself and literally, again, talk to if you were talking to somebody else, if that makes you more comfortable. Everybody is different. Or you could spend time with God. This is step number 2. And this doesn't need to be God if you're not religious. This could be the universe. This could be God, whatever spiritual practice that you might have, or just asking. If you don't believe in anything, you need to start somewhere and just ask. And a simple explanation for this is when we feel like we are out of control or we can't get something ourselves, what do we do naturally? We ask somebody else if we feel like somebody else can do it, or if we can't do it, we just ask somebody else. We do this every single day, so therefore, do not be afraid to ask God or the universe or whatever you believe in. Ask. Ask what you want. Be specific about what you want. That's step 3. But let's go back to step 2. Ask. You do it every single day, so do not feel scared or fearful or dumb or silly about asking something just because you can't hear a response. We ask every day, most days, for help in even little ways or big ways, or even with questions as well. We are always asking, therefore don't feel silly for asking the universe or God, or even guilty. We want to come from a place of I'm just a human being and I am free to ask questions and receive help if I need help. Okay? So in your prayer, I'm going to use prayer because most people are religious, but if you're spiritual, you could ask the universe or whatever God that you believe in. but I'll use God for now. So you're going to pray, and you are going to go into step 3. Be very specific about your desire. And the reason why you want to be specific about your desire is because when we are uncertain of something, whether even it's ourselves, we feel doubtful naturally about it. And we start to question it, and we can't trust it 100%. And that's with even ourselves or with other people. If we don't feel like we have enough information about something, we feel some sort of doubt, or we need to question it, or we don't feel like we could trust it 100%. And that is why it is important to be very specific about what you want. So if you don't believe in God, or if you don't believe in the universe or anything like that, be specific in your journal. If you want to journal this, you can, or if you want to pray about this, you can. You could do either or. So in your journal or in your prayer, you are going to say what you want, why you want it, and you're going to put everything that is happening in that scene. I say scene because that's the easiest way for people to grasp. So in this scene, what is happening? Who is there? Is it just you, or is it other people? What's going on in the background? What is happening right in front of your eyes? What do you look like? What do you feel like? What does the other person look like? What do they feel? What are they expressing? Be very specific in this scene. And I say scene because you don't want this to be an ongoing movie. You want this to be a very strong scene, because once it becomes an ongoing movie, it can't be as detailed, because again, we're still in our conscious mind is still slowing down. So we're not fully aware, but we're aware enough to, when we focus on something, the whole focus is going on that scene. I hope that makes sense. So in this scene, you're going to be very specific. I'll use relationships in the sense because that's what most people always want to manifest, is either a spouse or getting married, all those things, or money, right? But I'll use relationships for it to be easier to understand. So in this scene, right before bed, and you want to do this literally seconds as you're about to literally doze off. And yes, you can do this when you're just in bed, just relaxing. But the most effective way is when you're literally a couple of seconds or a minute in from literally knocking out, because you are in a deep relaxation state. So in this scene, you're going to picture what you are feeling. You are going to feel what you're feeling. You're gonna literally feel like you're already there, like it is already happening. And that is something that I'm going to emphasize. You don't want to live in past tense. You are going to vision this like it already has happened. It already has happened. You're just embodying it in that scene, and you're living through it. And then you're going to go to sleep. And that is the most strongest way to manifest, and the fastest way to manifest, because of your consciousness and because your subconscious, your ego, it all drops down. And that's why it is important to go to your first step and try to get rid of anything or work through anything that was weighing you down throughout the day. So therefore, it will be easier for you to visualize and to feel the emotions that you would like to feel in this visualization, in this manifestation, in this prayer, whatever it is for you. Because if you go right just straight into it, but the whole day you've been stressing about this, that, those thoughts might be coming into your visualization. And you could still manifest and you could still visualize, but it's going to be more of a distraction and harder to lock in, and then you might end up getting frustrated. And that's why it is key to start with step 1. Get rid of anything that might be weighing you down, any thoughts that might have been replaying, and go through your emotions and let them go. And also give yourself grace that you are imperfect. It's okay if you had a bad day. It's okay if you have negative thoughts. That's all it is. Do not give power to your negative emotions. It is okay to have them. But yeah, another way, if you want to do this in a more chill way or a different way where you feel more comfortable, is you can also write on a piece of paper. I'll get one of my journals, for example, and I don't think I even wrote in this book. Got that. Cool. Don't mind my handwriting. So you could just write whatever is on the paper. You could write whatever's on the paper, and then you could rip it off. Okay, this is my coaching stuff, so I'm not going to rip it off. But you rip the piece of paper, and you put it literally under your pillow, and you fall asleep to it. And when you write, and I'll tell you why this is powerful. When you are writing, you're barely not thinking in an egotistical way. You are literally being the most genuine and truest self when you are writing, for most people, especially if they're writing their desires. So when you're writing your desires, most of the time you're getting excited about what you're writing about and what you want, right? So you're writing. All this energy is going into the paper. All that energy is going to the paper, into what you're writing, and then you're putting it behind your sleep while you sleep, and all that energy is with you throughout the whole night while you sleep. And if you want to be more woo-woo about it, you could put a crystal. I don't have anything in my desk right now, but you could put a crystal underneath your pillow as well with this piece of paper to bring in extra energy, whatever crystal that aligns with you. Or if you don't believe in that stuff, you could just do a prayer as well with this paper, asking God, hey, God, I love you. I appreciate you. I am asking you, can you let these things come into my life? Allow these things to come into my life. And to take it a step ahead, you say, thank you, God, for giving me this life that I wrote in this piece of paper. That is like key. That is the key to manifestation. Gratitude. Asking God or the universe, thank you for giving me my desires. Thank you for whatever, let's say you're writing a paper, let's say it's like 10K, right? $10,000. Thank you, God, for the $10,000. Thank you for allowing me to have this amount of money. It is the highest form of energy and bliss. So if you don't want to do all the steps I said, because it might be a lot, you could just do the journaling part and put it underneath your pillow. So that is the end of the video. I hope that some of you got something out of this video and that you enjoyed. If you are interested in coaching with me, there will be a link down below if you need help defeating roadblocks or with identity work. And until next time, you guys, peace out.